What's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be a little bit special. This is going to be my very first account review, and today I have another fellow Last Cloudia streamer. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name is WolfKingFist. I am a variety streamer on Twitch. I play games from Monster Hunter, Destiny, Dead by Daylight, and I do have mobile Mondays segments also, but my schedule did change a little bit, so I'll be more towards on Saturdays now. If I ever do like mobile stuff, then I can definitely let you guys know. WolfKingFist on Twitch. Please feel free to stop by.
Yeah, go ahead, check them out. So I had approached you with, this idea, and I got this idea from another content creator. His name's That Zero Plays. I'm not sure if you've heard of him, Wolf.
Yep. I haven't heard of him. You told me about him before, but I haven't like seen him. Does he see him on Twitch and stuff like that?
He's mainly on YouTube, and he did
YouTube?
videos. Yeah, he did videos on Last Cloudia. He still does, but like very slowly now. The other thing that he is part of is the podcast, so he's there with me as well. He streams the podcast on his channel, but I got the idea from him because he also does this type of review with other people's accounts. So he's got many videos doing the same thing. So I got the idea, and I've just been looking for someone that's been willing to, be a part of it. So I just want to say thank you for being my first.
Oh no. Thank you for allowing me to be, your very first person to like account review, because like I said before, I don't know if my account is that worthy yet or not. So hopefully everything goes well today as far as like just checking everything out.
Right. So from this, what do you want to, like, I guess, get out of it? Like, what would you like from where you are now to after this? What would you like to be like different, maybe more knowledgeable, maybe doing something different with your account in terms of like day-to-day logging in and stuff? What do you want to get out of this?
Well, as far as what I want to get out of, I guess maybe more in-depth stuff about Last Claudia, like like the farming techniques, and stuff to get more mats quicker, and how to get my units leveled up quicker. Besides, like, of course, like the EXP training stuff, all that stuff is out there to like help and stuff like that. Stuff just to help get my units up there more faster, as far as like farming for mats, and trying to get their levels up quicker, and trying to get their all their abilities unlocked, just trying to get everything fleshed out for a particular character, so I can try to work on another character and get all this stuff fleshed out, stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
Like,
And
oh.
so I guess basic Last Claudia, like when just to for my interest too, when did you start Last Claudia, and how long have you been playing it, and what like drew you in, or what was the moment that like drew you into the game?
I started playing Last Claudia when it first came out, and of course, with me, as in like all mobile games, you know how you start playing some. Well, I don't know if you in particular, but you start playing something, and then it's like, oh, this is cool, and then you get to that point where it's just like you just like at a screeching halt, and it's like I don't know what to do at this point. So for me, it was like, okay, well, I just like log on and do this, that, not really knowing what I was doing, and then I stopped playing for like a good couple of days. Not hop back on and do something, or whatever there is to be done, and just stop playing. So that was pretty much that. That was for like all mobile games for me. That's pretty much how it was. But the thing about Last Cloud was like it was really so interesting, and the fact that I didn't know from before, but like how you can like teach your units any type of skills from a particular art, and that's something that I didn't know in the beginning. I was just blindly playing. I was just blindly playing a mobile game, like how like you do all other mobile games. It's like, oh, this that. You stop
Right.
playing it for a minute, and then you get back on and do like rinse repeats type deal like that. Um, and after a while, when I had stopped like doing my times when I stopped playing, I would see like ads on Facebook or on Twitter about Last Cloudy, and like this is out right now, or this is out right now. And whenever I would see it, I was like, I would be like, oh, well, that's cool then. Well, I'm probably not even nowhere near to getting that unit right now, or doing this or doing that. So I had just not worried about getting back on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say it was after. I'm trying to think if I remember correctly. I don't know if it was after Christmas or not, but it was when Shift Libby came out, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just go in here and I try to pull for her. So I end up pulling her, and I end up pulling her on the daily 100 paid crystals, and I
Oh,
actually end up
nice.
that one unit pool was actually her, and I was like, oh, that's dope. So I started playing with her a little bit, and things and stuff like that. And then after a while, I was like, well, I know how I am with mobile games. I just pick up a mobile game and I stop playing it, and it sits on my phone for like years and years and years. So I was like, I'm going to actually sit down and get accustomed to this game and learn how to do it and know what to do. So later down the road, I can say that, hey, I've been on this game for a long time and I've committed to it, instead of being like, oh, I played this for like a week or two and I stopped playing it. So I have been going and going and going. I came across some people along the way when I first started streaming it on Twitch. I came across people along the way. I don't know if you ever heard somebody called Dasher Man or Dash
Oh
Man.
yeah. Yes.
If I'm saying his name correctly. Um, he was one of the very first few people that stopped by the channel, and he helped me out with a few stuff. And he gave me like on websites and stuff like that on what to do. So I would like browse the sites and stuff, and I have to pick stuff up for like a good moment for me to actually like learn it and try to keep it in my head. So I would
Right.
glance at it every now and then, but it was so, and I would just try to like go on by with it and try to like go with the best I can, try to learn everything. So
Mm-hmm.
um other than that, I just been going with it, been doing the story, been working on stuff. And then after a while, that's when I met you through Oreo. And
Shout outs to Oreo.
like shout out to Oreo. And then after a while, like some stuff that you've been telling me, some stuff that I didn't even know about, that like nobody else really had told me about.
Mm-hmm.
Is like it's stuff that just started clicking for me, and I just been trying to like do the best I can, try to get my characters on up there and get everything fleshed out, stuff like that. So like big thanks to both of you and Dashman, because both of you guys are really truly amazing, and I don't think that I would be where I am now if it wasn't for both of you guys really helping me out with all the information that you give me so far.
Well, glad I could help, man. It makes me feel good. I'm glad I could help.
No, no
So
problem.
do you feel like you have, well, before I guess me coming along and Dasher Man, did you feel that you had a grasp on the game, like, to where you didn't, like, you weren't going around looking for things? Could you like decipher things on your own, is what I'm trying to ask.
Um, I'll probably say no, because at that point in time where I was like, I'm gonna like buckle down, I was just like, my main goal, and I will say no actually, because when I said I was gonna like buckle down and get on it, um, it was after Shift Libby. I believe it was the DMC event that had came out, and
Mm-hmm.
V Dante Nero, and my main goal at that time was to get everybody to level 100. Trying to like get them to level 100, stuff like that. And then at that point, I got to level 100. I just kind of just like not worried about it anymore. I had completely forgot about the fact that I had to put skills on my characters and get their abilities up and stuff like that. And at that time, I didn't really have a lot of mats. I was dispersing mats across like multiple characters, trying to get everybody done at the same time, and that was one of my really biggest mistakes of me
Mm-hmm.
doing that. So I would say no, I really didn't have a game plan at that point. I was just trying to get
Okay.
everybody up there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into this. Let me check out your units real quick.
Okay.
See what you got going on. So of course, shift Lilibet. Damn. So this is a lot of level ones. Very. Okay, you got Gen. No, I mean that's good. That it's
when
more gems, more EXP for your rank. So.
when when I started bucking it down, it was like Shift Libby, then the DMC event, and then like it was like a whole bunch of other stuff was coming out all together, and I was just trying to like and I was one of the people that was like, I gotta get this, gotta get this, and it was
Mhm.
like I kept getting all these characters, and I was working on them, and like everybody else that I had like 2 whole years ago, I just didn't even touch them yet.
Okay, well, I do see that you have 2B and A2. That's nice. You got V, you got all three of the DMC units. Real nice. You got Gen. Nice. That's probably the best Dr. Stone unit, so that's good.
Okay.
Let's see what. Okay. Just gonna take a quick look, see what all. So when building units, do you have like are you comfortable with saying that like, hey, this character needs this character needs that in order to like perform well? Like in terms of skills and just what arcs that would be best to run on them, would you say that your grasp on unit building is good, average, needs to work on? I'm not too sure where you stand on that.
It's kind of so at the moment. Like units like Dill, because he's a wolf character. I love wolves, so that's gonna be my huge main focus.
Fair enough.
Dill, I want to make him a berserker character, and so I got like skills that revolved around that, trying to get his attack up. His berserker skill, of course. There was like this one skill where it gives some 50% attack for his MP decreases and stuff like that. So I tried to work around that. As far as that with him, I don't know if I have like all the actual things that I need for him, but as far as what I have now, he does hit some pretty high damages. One of my other goals is that I'm working on right now is to try to get all my multiplayer coins, so I can get that one ring that increases damage cap by, I think it was by 1,000 if I'm not mistaken. And I'm trying to work on my fire claw right now for him as well, trying to get that up plus 40.
Okay, cool. So weapons, his claw makes sense. Would you say you use him pretty much everywhere? Is that safe to say? Since he's your favorite?
Since I got him like fully out there, yes. I've been using him pretty much everywhere I get a chance to.
Okay. Who would you say?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have made it to level 80 in floor 80 in the Tower of Trials, excuse me.
Oh, you cleared? Yeah, you showed me that you cleared. Congrats. Was that your first time?
That was my very first time in 2 years.
Nice. Okay, cool. So nice little roster. Okay, let me take a look at your arcs. Ooh, you got the Devil May Cry arcs. Very nice. Okay, so damn, you still got a lot of gems you could get out of this.
I've been slowly trying to level up everything so I can get all my gems out of it.
Man, it's like you don't even play the game. Look at all these level 1s. Oh, okay, cool. All right. One thing, do you know about the current banner? Not the new collab, but the rerun. Do you know or are familiar with the Final Fantasy Adventure arc?
No, but I know what you're about to say about the honey elixir. I am familiar about the honey elixir skill. I've been trying to get that arc. I ended up getting the other arc last week, and I was kind of sad. I was like, poo. But I'm gonna try to. It was the one on the right one, the right side beside the Final Fantasy one. But
this one?
I've been trying to get my hands on that arc, and I have no luck yet.
I've
been told that honey elixir is a really good skill.
Have you pulled on any of the new banners? Like Angela or Paris, have you pulled for them?
I have, but only with the tickets that I've been that I've acquired so far.
Gotcha. Okay, so you don't have a Mage. You do have AOG Lily, but you have Sage Zekas. Okay, so you do have a Mage. All right, so just because you have Sage Zekas, if you do end up working on him and you get him to E5 or 5th enhance, you don't really need Angela. Because, I mean, Angela, she's not to knock her down. She's a great unit. She's a great mage. But the fact that you have a mage, it makes it okay to not pull for her. In this game, you'll have to understand. You'll have to come to an understanding that you don't have to pull on every single banner that comes out, because that's just depleting your gems. And then once you get to the end game, like where I'm at, you pretty much have no gem income. So you really got to manage your gems if you want to be or like relatively smart or like free to play, I guess, even if you do swipe, like if you still want to be the free to play mentality, then you have to come to terms with not pulling on every new unit that comes out, if your account doesn't need them. Like for instance, Reese, she's a DPS support, but to be honest, you don't need her. You do have Shift Lilibet. She may not provide what Reese does in terms of like support and utility, but at the end of the day, Reese is just another damage dealer that comes with some support and utility. Shift Lilibet can do DPS, so you don't need a pull for Angela or for Reese, is what I'm trying to say. As long as you put some resources and you build Sage Zekkas, you'll be fine. The one thing that it's hard to say. It's hard to say it because, well, for one, you have like 1,000 gems to your name. But should you get your hands on more gems, I would definitely recommend trying to get the Final Fantasy Adventure arc, just because this skill is incredibly OP. And I don't think you have Winry's apple pie. No, okay, so you don't have any of the Full Metal Alchemist. Okay. So yeah, if you were going to pull, I would say to try and get the Final Fantasy Adventure arc. But the collab is going to be over, next week. So maybe they're going to introduce a brand new unit with like a, really good arc. But I highly doubt that arc is going to be anywhere near the Final Fantasy Honey Elixir arc. So if you have gems and if you want to pull, I recommend trying to go for these. Because Honey Elixir is great on Shift Lilibet because she can recover her MP like really, really fast and really easily, so she can eat. You know what Honey Elixir does?
I believe it restores HP and their skill time cooldowns, correct?
Yes. So costs 200 MP. It costs 200 to cast it. Once you use it, it uses all of your MP. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 or 500. So it uses all your MP, and then it gives one ally that you select all 9,999 HP, and then it completely refills their skill stocks. And when it first came out, it was good. Like the arc was good, the skill was good. It's just that at the time, the units didn't have the strong enough autos to regen enough MP to make to spam the skill. But nowadays, new units are able to get their MP back with Goddess Kiss with no problems. So again, if you do want to pull, then I would recommend trying to get that Final Fantasy Adventures arc. Okay, let me look into the story, see how far are you? Have you completed all of it?
I'm at Solaris at the moment. Skyforge Solaris.
Oh wow, you still got a lot of story to go. Have you done most of hard mode, or have you touched that at all?
You said, have I done who now?
Hard mode.
Hard mode for no, I haven't done hard mode either. I've done a little bit for hard mode for some of the maps, and I haven't even touched God mode yet. I forgot all about hard and God mode. Well, I won't say that because I've been doing hard mode, trying to farm Arc Ether.
I see. Okay,
but speaking of Arc Ether, you're able to get more. You're able to get more gems for doing hard and God mode, right?
Yeah, each stage, if you clear, it's 1,110 gems. So you still got a lot of gems you can get.
Okay.
Let's see about your equipment. Oh, actually, let me just do this. Arc Ether.
That's been like my main focus right now, is to work on Arc Ether. I think I had probably like one or two that was had like 100% Arc Ether. I've been going to work. I've been leaving my computer up like all day, all night, like going to work, coming home, streaming. I stopped streaming, look at YouTube at nighttime, and all the while, like Last Cloudia is like still rolling on auto farm for Arc Ethers. Ever since it's popped up on stream, ever since it popped up on Steam, I've logged in almost 3,000 hours. Let me check. I've logged in almost 3,000 hours, I believe. Pretty much most of it auto farming on Last Cloudia.
Okay, so I think for the most part, you got all of the good Arc Ether reward items. Yeah, for the most part, you got all of them. Actually, no, yeah, you do have all of them. There's some that are nice, that would be nice to have, but I wouldn't tell you to like spend Ethereum on them.
Oh,
One of those,
I was
yeah, one of those would be this Velda Org, the robe. It's just good for MP regen. Um,
okay.
let's see.
Oh, that's good. Put on.
Yeah. Okay. So Arc Ether wise, I think you've gotten the important ones or the more impactful ones. I think recently you got Beast Hunter, right? To skill level 10. Yep. Okay. Cool. Okay, so
Yeah,
let's
like some of the items, I didn't even know that I even had them to begin with, like those Stardust things. I have got all about those. Like some of the stuff I had and just pretty much forgot about because I've been so focused on like trying to get certain stuff done. I forgot about the other stuff, so you have to forgive me about that.
No, you're fine, you're fine. Okay, so obviously you got a lot of units that you can get gems and EXP from, so you still got a good amount of gems that you could get. You do have Tinkeely. This would be a great support, like either whether you use Delmorto or use Shift Lilibet, having Tinky there is great. Are you aware of what she does and why she is good? No?
I've seen some people use her in multiplayer, and she did like some type of skill where she did like a little concert, and I think one of the buffs that she gave was, I guess it's supposed to be like I'm trying to say limit break. Well, pretty much in the sense of a limit break, but I'm trying to say that I forgot what the word is already, and it slipped my mind.
The damage cap?
Damage cap. She raises the damage cap, doesn't she?
Yes. So, let's say you get her to E5 and you completely fill out her skill tree. She has a trait that at the beginning of the fight she applies a 20% physical attack damage buff, and she also applies a 3,000 damage cap buff. So, do you know who Sea Rover Maddie is? No? Okay. Well, essentially she does the same thing, but hers was, if I remember correctly, hers was 2,000. I want to say it was 2,000. But anyways, so Tenkili does the same thing. So at the beginning of the fight, applies a 20% physical damage buff and also applies a 3,000 damage cap. But when she uses her ult now raises that 3,000 damage cap to 5,000. So you get an additional 2,000 increase in damage buff. And not only that, but her ult also applies 50% more skill damage, 50% more ult damage, I believe increased break damage so that your units can break easier, and then increased damage to enemies while they're in break. So she's a really great offensive support. You do have Gen, and Gen is also great. Just because he's a more defensive support, but can also apply some offense. Just because when physically attack, give all allies unit physical attack damage and science damage. Okay, so he's more of a supportive offense versus Tinkili's just like straight offense. She can also heal because there's a trait where when she applies buffs, she also heals. So whenever she does her ult, she applies like 5 or I believe it's 5 or 6 buffs. So those buffs also end up healing you. So she can do a little bit of healing. But eventually you'll want to build her just for more offensive capabilities. All these other units, the only other unit, obviously Sage Zekas, you don't have a mage, so I would recommend building Sage Zekas as your mage. He's a good Rainbow Mage. Rainbow Mage is used with the units that can use fire, earth, ice, and thunder. A true Rainbow Mage is a mage that can do light, dark, all the elements. But Sage Zekas has the ability to use all the 4 elements. So he can be your mage. Should you happen to have use a mage, I would recommend to build him. Let's see. You do have Yashimaru. You've got Meridi. That's great. Okay. So, I had mentioned earlier about setting up an auto farmer. Do you remember that? Okay, so this particular unit, Master Thief Robin, when you 5th enhance him, I believe he has a chance to steal on kill, and I believe that chance is a 35% chance. So it's pretty high just for killing an enemy and having a chance to steal an item. So what I do is I build him like my Master Thief Robin is decked out so he can farm really easily. So let's the White Laboratory. I remember you were asking about the books, correct?
Hmm.
Okay, so you can set him up to where he farms. Of course, the steal is a chance, whenever he kills the enemy. But the fact that you can leave it overnight and he's just working on stealing is going to be great, especially if when you end up fifth enhancing a lot of units, or it'll just make it easier. But I use him
Okay.
in the Imperial Guard Commander 3. I'm sure this is where you farm, correct?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So the reason I use him here is because, well, not only do you get mats, but you get blue and green clusters, and then you get green and blue crystals that you can use to alchemize to get the other colors. But not only that, it's a one wave. You get EXP. It's a very small amount of EXP, but if you're gonna be autoing it like 24/7, then it'll add up. But with Robin, since I used Robin, shoutouts to Zero. He's the one that he told me that he uses. With him, you can also get these EXP pots, which you can also use to level up units. So it's a great. Robin makes this stage like incredibly great just for farming mats and farming the EXP pots. But do you have any of the Doctor Stone arcs? Let me check.
Uh, just the one that we got from the friend pool, the
Okay.
Stone World. Just right there.
Okay. Okay, so it might be a little bit difficult. Let's see. Do you have Rabala? You do not. Okay. Well, the ideal build for that Robin that I'm telling you is you give him 3700, the spell, after 3700 years. It's a quick map-wide spell that can clear that map in particular in one wave, but I don't see that you have Gaze at the end. That's a ReZero collab arc. But
That's
even if
that's
you...
one I completely missed.
Oh,
I haven't.
you missed
Hopefully
that
they bring
collab?
that back at some point. That
I
was that
see.
was one of the ones that I missed. When I told you that I had been on and off, and I
Hmm.
hadn't really like I would see something, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. I probably nowhere near that. That was one of the ones that I end up missing completely.
Okay. All right. It's not that big of a deal. It would have helped a lot, yeah. But
Okay.
so the way that you would build Robin is you would build him as a mage. So you'd give him, all the fast casting spell or the accessories, and then high level magic chant. I don't believe you have.
Okay.
No, you don't have. Okay, so there was the arc that came with Shift Eliza. It has a spell, fast recast, which enables you to not use one of the accessories in place of that. So it just makes the casting easier, and it requires less on your units. And the reason that arc would have been great is because then you could have given Robin the pirates, the bangle, the one that helps you steal items. Yeah, so the bangle of a master thief, it would have helped because you would have been able to use this on him, and then it just would have raised the chance of him stealing items. It's not that big of a deal, but like I said, it would have made the farming a lot easier. Okay.
Okay.
So uh, so you're working on completing the arc ether, right, for all of your arcs? So you don't have that many left. I say that many, but in reality, you don't have that many left. You're almost there. You're nearly there. Okay. And then in terms of leveling arcs, do you know, are you leveling certain ones in particular for a certain skill, or are you just leveling arcs just to level them?
It's kind of back and forth between the two. Sometimes I just get one to level up and get all the skills unlocked, and at some points, if I end up coming across something, and I like check out my arcs for a skill that I may need, and if I see it, I try to get that particular arc leveled up just for the skill before I get it to level 10.
Okay. So physical DPS, off the top of your head, just to gauge from just to have a little bit of a gauge of where you are on like knowledge on skill on arcs and skills on the arcs. Do you know off the top of your head which arcs that pretty much you need in order to boost your physical DPS? Like, do you happen to know that?
Somewhat,
Like, like arcs, like the arcs that have the skills that physical DPS units use. Like for instance, Sharp Eyes. Do you know what arc Sharp Eyes is on?
no, but I should, because I taught that on Deal a while back, and I don't know what arc is on now.
Magrona. Okay, so I mean it's not that big of a deal. It's just me being nerdy or whatever. But just because I've been playing, so I kind of just know all of it. But you do have Magrona at level 10, so that's good. Sharp Eyes, staple for physical DPS. So when you use Delmorto or Shift Lilibet, do they cap, like, do they hit the damage cap pretty easily, or do you say that are you struggling with that still?
I guess I could say I'm struggling with that right now because I don't know, like in terms of like me not knowing what their damage cap actually is. I just know that I try to get skills that say that it raises the damage cap and just just roll along with that and see what happens.
Gotcha.
As far as the deal goes, I think he was hitting at 20. I think it was either 21 or 24K at the moment. But I think in Tower, if I'm not mistaken, he was hitting a little bit higher. I think he was like 35 at one point, 35K at one point when I was in Tower. And then I believe seeing him across other maps as well, seeing him fight and stuff, I do see that number pop up every now and then as well. So I believe he may be at like 35K at the moment as far as damage cap goes.
Okay. So not to burst your bubble, but Delmorto, he can't
Totally
go
fine.
that high. He can't go that high.
Okay.
So the Delmorto has a 8,000 damage cap right here. So physical attack damage plus 8,000. You can increase that with you do have Kagetsuchi, so you can give him an additional 3K, so that's 11K. And then let's say do you have Scarlet Sword? You do not. Okay. All right. Actually, let me check your Crimson. Okay, so have you been using Crimson Ore for anything in particular?
Just to get like radiance and stuff. That's about it.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I try to hold out as much as I can, and then if I can't get it through multiplayer, I go ahead and get one from here.
Okay, yeah, that's not a bad thing to do, getting all the radiances. Okay. So I do notice that you do not have Scarlet Blade. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to not get Scarlet Blade, right? But if you do want to, your units to do more damage, then obviously an additional 1,500 is good to have. But if you are comfortable without it, then that's fine. I'm not going to pressure you to, to get it, because Crimson Ore is hard to come by because it does require you to pull. Okay, so let me use Lilibet as an example. So when a new unit comes out, are you able to like look at the unit and then break down their abilities, their traits, and then look at the skills that they come with and be able to make a judgment and be like, okay, so I need to build this unit with this. I need to give them this particular skill. How comfortable are you with saying that you are knowledgeable in that department? Like for instance, like let's say Reese. If you took a look at Reese and you saw her kit, would you be able to like be like, oh, hey, this is a unit that my account would benefit from having her. Just how comfortable are you with like units, like just taking a look at units and being able to decipher whether you need them or not?
I would probably say no on that part then, because
No?
it's like
Okay.
you see that new unit. In my mind, it's like, oh well, I got to get this person, and I don't even know, what their strengths and weaknesses are as far as my account goes, and how would they help me,
Gotcha.
proceed further down the road.
Okay. Getting into that mentality would be great, because not only would it help you, like, because in reality, the reason I bring that up is just so that you have a kind of like a measure on whether you should pull the unit or not. And it's not more so of like pulling, it's more so of like saving your gems, because at the very end of the game, you'll find, and I've mentioned it before, that gem income is really slow. So being able to look at a unit and then being able to see your account and say, hey, this unit's great and all, but I don't need them, I can live without them. They provide damage, cool, but again, it's not going to be damage that it's going to like skyrocket my account. So it would help you in saving gems and just being smarter, going towards the future, and being able to make good judgments. Not that you're making bad ones, but being able to make solid judgments on whether you should pull on a unit or not. Okay. So you had mentioned that you were having problems capping on their skills. So Shift Lilibet, she comes with a 8,000 damage cap, and then on top of that, she also has a trait that gives her an additional 2,000. Where's it at? When equipping 2 weapons among swords, machines, bows, or staffs, physical damage plus 25%, and physical damage cap plus 2,000. So right out the gate, she's got a 10,000 damage cap. But on top of the already 9,999. So she's hitting. So if you're able to maximize her damage, the goal is to build units to where they are hitting their max damage cap on white hits, not so much criticals. Back then we focused on building their crit and being able to for them to hit crit, because that was our only way of hitting high numbers back then. But now units have really decked out traits, they're a lot more stronger. So the goal now, whenever you build a unit, is to be able to get them to hit max damage cap on white numbers. So right out the gate, Lilibet is able to hit for 19,999 damage. Of course, you can increase that with like gear and then Tinkili in your party. So the goal now is to be able to make your units hit for the max damage cap on white numbers.
Okay.
And
I'm not sure about Deal Dance. I know when I told you before about the 21K, that's on crits. So okay. I did not know that. So I don't. Okay. I'm not even sure about his white numbers.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. Let me just take a look at your arcs. Okay, you've got Sword of Corpses. All right, this is a great. Another one for Sword High Boost. This is the only arc that has Sword High Boost, so that's good to have. Got a level 10. I'm assuming you're familiar with Caldina, right? You know why this is great.
Trishula.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. So with physical damage dealers, they kind of vary, but then they kind of don't, because they all pretty much just use the same thing in terms of like the skills that they have. Because at the end of the day, so when building physical units, at the end of the day, you want as much physical damage boosting or damage boosting skills on them as you can. There are really cheap ones, and then obviously there's really expensive ones like Sharp Eyes. It's 9SC. So let's take a look at this arc. Weak point boost. When hitting a weak attribute with a physical attack, damage plus 30%. So that's really great. I'm assuming, do you have that on Dilmorto?
Probably, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so you don't have weak point boost. Okay, that's fine. So let me just look. Okay, so you have a bunch of attacks.
I just finished teaching V that, so I believe he was gonna be my next person to give that to.
I'm assuming you're using V for. Actually, it would be easier to build V, because there is a. You can use V instead of Robin to farm the. Let's see, to farm Imperial Guard Commander. Now, actually, yeah, if you have V, probably use him, just because he'll be more consistent and reliable and compared to Robin. Because, well, one, you don't have Robin build, and then you don't have Gaze of the End, which makes it to where Pretty much any physical DPS or any unit for that matter that has Gaze of the End. Gaze of the End, what it does is at the beginning of the fight, it lowers all the enemy's elemental resistance by 10. And the reason that's good is because you gotta kind of manipulate with the AI to where they cast magic right at the very beginning. And you don't have that, which is gonna make it a little bit difficult for Robin to be a consistent farmer. So just using V is fine because V has S1, you know, it's across the map, so it can clear that map. If you build them enough, it can clear that map pretty easily. So you can use them as your clearer and a quote-unquote farmer if you happen to give him the pirate's bangle to steal items when he kills. Okay, so let's see. If I'm going like all over the place, or if you have questions about specific things, feel free to bring them up.
Okay.
I'm just talking things as they come up. Okay, so you do have weak point boost on him. Okay. All right, so you almost got him. Okay. Let's see. Is he close to learning skill charge 1? Okay, so he does not have skill charge 1. That's fine. Do you mind if I tinker with your orbs a little bit?
Go ahead. I don't mind at all.
Okay, let's see what you've done. Oh, so you haven't cleared this. Oh, look at that, man. You got tons of gems. Look at this. 600 gems. 600. You got 1800.
I'm trying to get all my characters. I'm like, I gotta get all my characters like fleshed out first before I try this. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to do it or not.
Well, yeah, you still got a lot of gems to go. Okay. See where you are in the event.
I'm trying to get there. Slowly working on it.
You got that multi.
I got 3 days to go.
Yeah, you better try and at least get the multi ticket just for a chance.
Yeah, I definitely am.
Oh, and get the radiances as well, actually. Yeah, definitely get those. Those are hard to come by. Okay. All right. Oh, the worldly. You haven't touched this at all.
Touched it at all. No. I don't have any of the characters. I don't think they were. I don't think they were giving any tickets. Were they?
No.
For that one.
They were not.
Okay, yeah, that's why I hadn't really touched it.
And then you're at 80 on trials, right?
Or 81.
81. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see if I can just quickly make V work. He's in. Okay, so the thing with V is, as I said earlier, he can clear the map with his S1, but you got to give him a lot of damage boost. Okay, so you have Killer.
So I have to give him like all the attack ups and stuff, correct?
Actually, yes. In this particular case, yes. Now, the only time that I ever mess with attack ups is because you can manipulate the AI into using particular skill. Like you can manipulate into using S1, S2, S3, but then it becomes a little bit more technical because you need more strength than you do intelligence. And then you also have to manipulate with the skill stocks. So then you got to teach units skill stock 1 or skill stock 2. Sometimes they do need purple orb, but not all the times. So V, as long as you give him enough STR to outweigh his int, like don't even touch his int, like don't give him any int as much as possible, and then just focus on the attacks.
Got it. Okay,
let me just see if I can make him work just a little bit. Skill charge 1, and then while we're at it, we'll go ahead and just teach someone. Does she know it? She does not. Okay. And then again. Who are the units that you... I know you use Demorto, you use Shift a little bit, but outside of those two, who do you use, would you say, that you like rotate in and out using?
Between 2B and V.
2B and V, okay. Might as well just teach him something while we're at it.
Okay.
She doesn't come with sword high boost, right? I don't have her, so I don't really know her kit.
I believe so, no. I probably double check just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
She may have it though.
Oh. No. Okay. All right. So you can teach her sword high boost. Cool.
Okay.
Any questions so far? Am I going like too much off the track, or anything you want in particular answered?
I'm learning. I'm literally learning a lot right now. That's
okay.
like I said before. It's just some stuff that I just hadn't really like known or grasped it yet. So I'm learning a lot right now.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, if I'm just jumbling around and I'm not making any sense, just let me know.
Oh, no. For the first time for a mobile game, I understand everything. I understand everything clearly.
Would you say Last Cloudia is one of your favorite mobile games, or is it up there?
Last Cloudia?
Yeah.
I would probably say yeah, because I really don't touch a lot of mobile games besides Last Cloudia. Like Last Cloudia is the only thing that I've been on constantly, day in and day out. Like I do have other mobile games, but like I said before, they're one of the ones that just sit on my phone for like years. I go on there every blue moon and look at it, and then just I pop it on Last Cloudia.
I feel you. Okay. Charge 1. Okay, we'll give him attack max. Did you pull any? Did you miss the Full Metal Alchemist collab, or did you just not pull at all?
I ended up getting Alphonse, but I tried to pull for Ed and Roy, but I just couldn't get him.
I feel you. Okay, yeah, I tried. I got Ed pretty easily on the first step up. And then nice. Roy, I didn't get Roy at all. Not getting Roy was a big hit. Like, I'm sure you know Roy,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
He's massive. Okay, so she's got weak point boost. I believe she does not have sword of high boost innate. No. Okay, so we'll give her sword of high boost. Oh, wait, oh, she's not done learning it. Just trying not to waste these runs. I'm trying to like min-max.
Oh no! I'm all good. I'll be able to go back tomorrow and get it worked on. If we don't get everything today.
Okay, so he's got Berserker. We'll just swap around. Oh, she does not. Okay, all right. Okay. What about arena? Do you do arena at all?
I do arena from time to time. I'm gold rank 5 at the moment.
Ooh. Are you okay in arena? Because I mean, I don't do arena myself. I do it enough just to like get top 100, but I'm not really a big arena guy. I've never been an arena guy. So I mean, if you need some help, I can help a little bit, but I'm not like the biggest giga brain when it comes to arena.
I'm okay in arena. I just try to do what I can to get by, so to say. I guess
Right.
one of my plans is I want to try to go ahead and just get get to super rank and try to just get all my items so I can
Gotcha.
have those out the way.
Okay, do you have, oh, you don't have it max level. Okay. All right. So I mentioned earlier where physical units, it's all about like boosting their damage. I'm gonna touch on that again, and just point out some skills that would be great just to maximize that. So, are you aware of special boost?
Um, no, no.
No.
I was aware of ultimate boost, but I did not know about special boost.
Okay. So backstab, it's a really cheap skill. 2 SC increases physical damage dealt to enemies from behind for 30%. So this is an incredibly great skill for being 2 SC, and it gives 30% damage. This is sort of high boost is 30%, but it's 9 SC, and this is 2 SC. All you got to do is just move behind the enemy. So this is a great bump in damage.
Does that also stack with I think the skill was called surprise attack? That does the
Yes,
same thing?
they both stack. So
Nice.
surprise attack is 50%. So if you stack those two, that's an 80% increase in damage. And I believe surprise attack is 4, I want to say.
It's 4.
Yeah, okay, so for 6 SC, if you're able to get behind them, you get 80% more physical damage, which is great. Now, I should mention that surprise attack actually works with magic, because it does not say when physically attacking. It just says damage. And this is another thing that I wanted to mention. Remember how I said that physical damage or damage boost on your physical damage dealers? Anything that says damage, you want to prioritize that on your units, just because it's just straight damage. Like, it's not conditional to physical, you know. So as long any skill that says damage, you want to put those. So surprise attack is one of those prime examples. So surprise attack and backstab, great 2 skills to have on your units. No matter what unit it is, as long as you can get behind the enemy, that's a free 80% damage. Special boost.
Got it. Okay.
So there's killers and then there's slayers. Do you know the difference between the two, I'm assuming?
Killers was physical. I think if I remember correctly, it was like it was either attack or damage, and then the Slayer was like physical attacks deal more damage to that type of class.
Okay, yeah. So killers, it gives an additional 50% physical damage to the killers is for regular attacks. So all your regular attacks will get 50% more damage. Slayers are, as you said, your active skills, like your S1, S2, S3. They are not they don't work together. So for instance, if you have Bird Killer and Bird Slayer, you won't get 100% on your regular. Slayer will count as killer, will also count as killer on top of working for your physical. So you don't need to run both. As long as you have one, like for instance, Bird Slayer, it'll work on your regular and it'll work on your physical skills. So when you run Slayers, special boost is a must, because it gives an additional 50% on top of the 50% that you get from Slayer. So that's 100% more damage. So that's definitely, like for instance, the bosses in the otherworldly, the red gate, the purple gate, you know, the bosses, there's only one boss and that's only one type of boss. So leveling your arcs to learn those particular slayers is great, just because it'll help you reach damage cap that much more easier. So for instance, Blue Gate, it's a beast type, so Beast Slayer, right? You want to give those to your physical damage dealers, and Special Boost. So those skills are really great. So if you want to work on getting all the Slayers, maybe not every single Slayer that there is, maybe just the Slayers that you need, like for the Godforge bosses or the gates, that would work just as fine.
Okay.
Of course, there are some units.
That dragon is
right. So Dragon Slayer would definitely help out. If you give Dragon Slayer and Special Boost, it'll help with your damage.
Okay.
And I think
here's the question I wanted to ask you about
yes.
about the bosses. So when you're dealing damage to them, and then is it like some type of like lockout that happens when their HP isn't moving for like a certain period of time?
Oh,
and then it
yes.
starts back moving again?
Yes. So every boss except for Willow, which is one of the Godforge bosses, and then Martigade, which is another Godforge. Those two are the only ones that do not have. Oh, and the new one, Vajra. I'm not sure if you've done those, but
I played him last night. That was a hard fight.
yeah. So Vajra, Willow, and then Martigade, they do not have HP locks, so you can just nuke them down as fast as you can. The other bosses, when they reach certain HP thresholds, they'll have an HP lock. So no matter how much damage you do, you won't do anything. At that point, you pretty much just want to like regular attack until you see the HP bar move, and then you start using your skills again. It's pretty annoying. I don't know why they did it. A lot of the community complains because it's pretty dumb, right? It's just like artificial difficulty. It doesn't really add anything. But we can't really do much. It exists, it's there. You just got to deal with it. But yes, every boss except for those 3 bosses, they have HP locks. These are the only 3 that do not have HP locks.
Got it. Okay.
Anything else?
No, that was it as far as that just came to mind for me about that.
Okay.
I've always wondered about
that. Yeah. Okay. So, so we touched about the we touched about Slayers, Special Boost. Those are really great skills to have on your units. It'll definitely help you with reaching the damage cap. This arc has Bird Slayer, so this would help with the worldly boss, the big bird.
Oh, Crazy Bird.
Yes. Yeah, Jalabanga, Bird Slayer.
Yeah.
So there are units, like for instance Lugseus, you don't have him, but there are units that have Brute Slayer, they have Human Slayer. Yeah, so for instance Logia, he's got Brute Slayer, so he's got pretty much all the Slayers. He's got like, I think it's Fish, Bird, Beast, Insect, Creature, and I believe something else. He's got like 6 Slayers, so that's like 48 SC that he saves in his kit. And then Human Slayer is like Soldier, Sniper, Sorcerer, Knight. So that's I believe 32 SC. So units that have Brute Slayer or Human Slayer or both, like Lugseus, and Lugseus actually has Special Boost. So he's got pretty much nearly all of the Slayers in his kit. But any unit that has Brute Slayer or Human Slayer, you want to give them Special Boost if they don't already have it. Okay. Let's see, other physical skills that'll help. This doesn't apply all the time, but there is a skill called Sky High. Damage to enemies in midair plus 20%. So for 4 SC and 20% more damage, it's great. It does say midair, but all midair really means is just like a pixel. Like if you lift the enemy just a little pixel, that counts as midair. So this is another great skill to have. You do have.
So Libby's Regal Mazer could actually proc that then, correct?
Yes. Divine Beast Hunter. This actually, you already have a leveled up, so you do have access to Sky High. And it does have God Slayer, which I would still, for Vajra, I would recommend getting it to level 10. So again, I'll let you prioritize which Slayer you'll work on, but just know that having all of the Slayers available to teach on your units is really great to have.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so you do have Phone Booth, which is a really great arc. Do you know why?
No, I do not know why.
No? Okay. So, Phone Booth at the boss wave start, unit recovers 50% HP, 30 seconds of SET to all skills, and then 10% of the special gauge. So 50% HP, it's nice. The 10% special gauge is nice, but the biggest thing is 30 seconds of SET to all of your skills. So if you pair this with skill charge 1, skill charge 2, skill charge 3, that's 50 SCT at the beginning of a fight for your unit. Of course, this only applies to boss waves. So single wave stages, the phone booth definitely helps out a lot paired with the skill charges. So that'll help you instead of like waiting for your skills to charge. This can just give you a quick burst of damage on any unit that you give it on. It's expensive. I wouldn't say expensive just because for what it gives. I say this is pretty cheap actually.
It is. It seems like it.
It's incredibly strong. Purple orb, max skill stock +1. So at the moment we only have skill stock 1, skill stock 2. Purple orb, skill wise, is the only skill that gives you an additional S3. Now I mentioned that, right? It gives all of your skills, 1 extra stock. But sorry, my dog just walked in. But if you pair that with Pirate's Feast, I believe Del Morto has Pirate's Feast, correct?
Del Morto has it. Yeah,
he does.
I believe. Yeah, he should have it. Yes.
I think he has it innately. Yeah. Okay. So Pirate's Feast. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So Purple Orb and Pirate's Feast are a really great combo because all the bosses, the Godforge, the gates, the ability dungeons, it's multiple waves. So there's 5 waves, 4 waves, 3 waves. So after wave 1, I know you know what it does, right? Pirate's Feast. It's self-explanatory.
First wave, all my CST recovers.
Yeah. Okay. So after wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, 5, you get all of your SCT back. So pretty great. And then with most units, their strongest skill or one of their strongest skill is their S3. So if you pair Purple Orb and Pirate's Feast, this makes for an incredibly strong combination because it gives you an extra stock, on all of your skills, and then Pirate's Feast refills all of those extra stocks. So those two in combination will help with your damage burst when it comes to the actual boss stage, but it does have to be multiple waves, but it'll definitely help with your damage when it comes to the boss. So working on those two would be great to put on your physical DPS. Del Morto already has Pirate's Feast, so just giving him Purple Orb would work.
Okay.
As far as other skills, do you know how to build mages, or do you have an idea of what a mage would need?
As far as like MP passives, other than that, no, not really.
Okay, all right, that's fine. So the main thing with like mages, it's physical DPS units and magical DPS units are pretty much are kind of the same. They just one does magic and one does physical DPS, but I say that they're kind of the same in the sense of like when you build a physical DPS unit, it'll vary from unit to unit just because they already have some skills like in their kit, right? Maybe you don't need to teach them sharp eyes because they come with sharp eyes. But essentially all of the physical DPS units have the same build because at the end of the day you're going to give them the skills that you need to cap on their white hits. And the same thing goes for magic DPS. It's essentially the same thing. You just give them skills to boost their magic DPS so that they cap on their whites. So for Sage Zekas, since he's a mage, Skyship Lanvolian, this one, magic aura is the sharp eyes of physical DPS. So this is when you build a mage, if they don't have magic aura and you need more damage, this is what you want to teach them. Magic attack uses 50% more MP, but for 75% more damage on their magic. So that's an incredibly strong boost. Now mages tend to like focus on one element. Sage Zekkas actually can use fire, ice, earth, and thunder. So giving him thunder, like the thunder boost, like thunder high boost, fire high boost, earth high boost, and then just thunder boost, earth boost. All those are going to be great to put on him.
All right.
And I don't think you have Star Calamity. You do. Okay.
I do.
So spell linkage is another great one. Magic attack damage plus 4% for each repeat of an attack magic. So after using so you use it initially, but 5 times after you use it initially, you get 20% more damage. I'm assuming since you haven't built Sage Zekkas, you don't need him, which is fine. Right, I'm not telling you to build him. I'm just letting you know that you do have an option to build him because you do have arcs that would benefit him the most. So all of like Magic Aura, Thunder Boost, Thunder High Boost, all those boosts will really help him. Apart from like the MP ups, int ups. So if you do have questions after this is all over, I can obviously still help you. And then there's Robe High Boost and then Robe Boost. When a robe is equipped, plus 20% mind and plus 10% magic attack damage. I believe you have... Yep. Okay, so Mindscape is another great one. Staff High Boost. When the staff is equipped, physical attack power plus 10% and magic attack power plus 20%. So you have everything that you could need, or not everything, but you have a lot of things at your disposal to make him a good mage. Obviously, you haven't built him, which is fine. You don't. It's an indication that you don't need a mage at the moment, which is okay. Anything that you want me to answer so far? I know I'm talking a lot, but if you do have questions, feel free to ask.
Okay. It's okay. No, not at the moment. In particular.
Okay. Okay, so we went over this. So accessory wise, let's see. Okay. Is there an immediate goal that you're trying to do right now that you would want some help or maybe some advice on? Or if you already got it, on deck, that's fine as well. I just thought I'd ask that.
You said an immediate goal?
Yeah, like something you're working on that you're not, too sure about. Like in terms of building units or, some stuff like that.
The God Forge stuff.
Godforge.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm guessing I need to fight the Godforge bosses to get their equipments to make the weapons more powerful.
Yes. Okay. Let's see what you have crafted and don't have crafted.
I haven't crafted anything in here yet. All that is news to me. I've seen it sitting there and I glance at it from time to time, but I've never really interacted with it.
Okay. All right.
Only after a while it had just hit me that some of the items that are needed I can buy from the store. So I went to like all the stores that I've been to so far in the overworld and just bought up everything.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Pure Blade Muramasa is actually one of Pure Blade Muramasa and Fantasia Cape. If I remember right, these were the only two that we had at the time. But this, when you craft it, it's a physical attack damage plus 20%. That's a great boost. Just right at the gate, 20%. When you get it to plus 40, all these go to plus 40. So when you get this to plus 40, it goes from 20 to 25. I mean, it's 5% more damage, right? But if you're putting it at plus 40, which is 25, and you give it to like a unit, that's just 25% more free damage. Of course, it's on physical attacks, but it's a great boost, 25%. It's almost a high boost. It's almost sword high boost. It's like 25%. Okay. Fantasia Cape, same thing, 20%. At 40, it goes to 25%. This is for magic, which is great. You do have Kagutsuchi, so this would be great. If you want to run this on Delmorto, it'll help him out. I believe at 40%, this goes from 15 physical damage to 25. I don't have it, so I can't remember. You have Holy... This one, did you get... Oh, no. Let's see. I don't think I saw it in your inventory. Oh, it's the mats. No. Okay, so you don't have them. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, it's not unfortunate, but so this one, the Holy Blade, this is light physical attack damage plus 15%. At 40, it goes to 25%. This would have been great on A2, but unfortunately, you do not have these to craft. So it's not that big of a deal, but it just... The thing with Godforge is it's great to have a variety because like this Pure Blade is 25%, this is 25%, but the thing is this is for everyone, or this is for, you know, all physical damage. This is for light physical damage. So this saves you the trouble of like, hey, I'm going to use A2, but my Shift Lilibet is using this. Now, if I had this, I could have given this to A2 and left this on Shift Lilibet. You know, so it just like it helps you with building units without having to like take away from other units, if that makes sense.
I got you.
All of these, like I still have a Guard Forge items to make just because I'm pretty lazy when it comes to that. So this I believe goes to 20% for magic damage. Let's see what staffs you have. First Sage Zekas, just to see what he has to work with. Filter staffs. Well, you got this one, so that'll help Zekas with fire. This is all around. All around. Dark. Okay, so these two would be like your all around. And then this, if you ended up using him for fire, this would be the one that you use. Again, I see that you don't have him build, so I'm not telling you to build him, but if you want to build him, you know, you have options.
All right.
Okay. So, yeah. So the two Godforge items that I guess that I would say to work on would be Pure Blade Muramasa, because again, physical damage, and then you have Kagutsuchi, so you could work on this for Delmorto.
Okay.
You do have to teach him sword equip, but yeah, but it's 25% if I'm not mistaken at plus 40. There is another skill, or another claw. This one, I believe this is 20% at plus 40. I know you have the fire claw on him, which is 15, but this is 20, so you know 5% more, right? It's there if you want to work on it. You don't have Theopolis, so this is not an option. Okay. So weapon-wise, if you do want to build a Mage, Sage Zekas Maiden Staff of Quiddity, this is one to work on. This could be for Delmorto. The Kagutsuchi could be for Delmorto, and then Pure Blade is for all your physical DPS. Are you knowledgeable, or not knowledgeable, but have you ever seen people use monster units? No? Okay. Let me introduce you to our Lord and Savior, Gobble. Do you know what Gobble does? No? Okay. So he's a meme, like he's a meme unit, but he's actually very good. He's actually really good. So you don't have it unlocked, which is fine. So his S3 it's a bomb that drops and you know it explodes. his bomb actually has a really high break value. It does a lot of break damage. But the biggest thing with Gobble is his Junkmeister. Immediate death, MP damage, HP absorption abilities added to Debris Bomb excludes some bosses and arena. So to put it simply, Gobble can actually take out. I've used him in tower, and he does extremely well. Like, let's say, what stage gave you a hard time in the tower?
Stage 70. Oh my goodness.
I forget which that is. You want to remind me what that is?
That was the God something. The stone building creature.
Ah, okay. So that doesn't apply. Okay. But so let's say stages, boss stages that you have your main boss, right? And then you have like annoying supports, like let's say the stage where there's Zuglis and then there's Zykes, where he just like teleports everywhere, right? So let's say you have Gobble and you use his S3 and you have Junkmeister. Gobble has the ability to just completely insta-kill Zykes and just makes that fight so much more easier. Like, there's a skill called Death God, right? Where you have a chance. Oh, you don't have the arc. That's fine. Where you have a chance to insta kill enemies. But if I'm remembering right, that does not apply. That doesn't apply to boss stages. But Gobble is actually the only unit that can kill the adds on boss stages. So it makes fighting those stages so much more easier. And I've used them in past time trials, where the last one that we had, where I'm not sure if you attempted it. Did you try it at all?
You said which time trial? Oh, talking about the time trial for Trials
Anniversary. The anniversary.
The anniversary. I haven't tried that one.
Okay. Well, so let's say the final wave, there was like Kyle, like all of the shift. There was Shift Kyle, Shift Lilibet, Ampheria, and they all had like, I believe they had like 6 million HP. And
oh my.
Yeah, like they all had their traits active. Like, like all the traits that our units have, they had their traits and they would use their traits in the fight. So Kyle, when an ally was near death, he applied the barrier, and you know how Kyle has like maybe 10,000 HP, so that barrier is like a 10,000 HP. But in the time trial, that barrier was a 6 million HP barrier that you had to go through, so it was really annoying. But I used Gobble, and Gobble could insta kill all of them except for Kyle, so he like just got rid of their HP no problem. So he's a meme unit. But he's actually really usable. And people sleep on him. And I mean, I'm not gonna tell you to like build him, but if you decide to build him, he requires minimal investment. All he really requires is dual wield. You need to unlock Debris Bomb, and then you get him to 4th Enhance to unlock Junkmeister, and then that's it. I mean, you can give him like HP ups for like survivability, get him to level 100. But in terms of like actually investing, like, oh, I got to teach him this skill, I got to teach him that skill, you don't have to do that. If you give him, skill charge 3, because his S3 is 25 and skill charge 3 is 20, you're that much closer. You have Phone Booth, which is actually great, because if you give him Phone Booth and then skill charge 3, that's 50 SC, which is 2 stocks of his S3. Right off the gate. So he's a meme unit. But I have a video, if you want to check him out, on my channel on YouTube, where I use Gobble and I show him off and I take him. You've done the Pablo fight, right? I'm assuming. The Pablo fight, the Palababoria or whatever however it's said. Have you done Green Gate?
I believe so.
Yeah, you can spend some crystals. No, I'm not gonna do it. No. Oh. Green Gate.
I think I've done Green Gate. I don't know if I've done the God mode of it yet, though.
Okay, well, Green Gate, you don't. I don't think you have to do God mode. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So you do have to do God mode, but you don't have to do God multi. But my point is, the boss for Green Gate, which is everyone calls him Pablo, but his name's like Pablo Boria or something like that. But in the overworld map, there is a fight that you have to fight him, or him and his minions. I don't think you have it unlocked. Yeah, okay, so you do have it. Okay, so you have the option to do it. All right.
That
So
quest, yeah,
yeah.
I think I got near killing him and I just died instant. Actually, yeah, that's the one that the things keep multiplying, and I ended up getting through all of it, and right at the near end, he had like a little bit under 10,000 HP left, and I ended
Mhm.
up dying from some mushroom attack that he did, and I was
Yeah.
like this close to beating it.
Mhm. Okay, so the thing with this quest is, in that video that I do show about Gobble, is that Gobble is actually, I gave him phone booth, I gave him skill charge. He's actually able to kill every single one of those ads up until the boss. So if you manage to kill him with an S3, you skip a stage, and then you rinse and repeat. So it's viable, and I actually made an alternate account where I used Gobble. I had Ampharia, and then I think I had Baron, but Gobble was a huge help in clearing this quest. Again, you don't have to build him, but I'm just letting you know he's a meme unit, but he's incredibly powerful.
Okay.
Okay. So we were working on V. I completely forgot about him. Let's see if we can get him. So you don't have Soldier Slayer available, and you don't have Sorcerer Slayer available, which would help out, and you don't have Special Boost, which would help clear the stage. But we're just gonna see. The point, on getting V to work is just for him to instantly use his S1 to clear the wave. So we're gonna see if we can at least get him so that he uses his S1. He should be able to use it now. Okay, let's see. Let's just do a quick auto run. Hopefully he does it. He should. Yeah, okay, see? So he instantly casts it. Now the thing is, we have to boost his damage to where he can just instantly cast and then instantly clear.
Okay.
This if you use him, he will increase your farming rate tremendously. Who were you using to farm that stage?
I was just using I was using Libby, him, and was it V? I think it was V. Yeah, I think it was V. I think Libby, V, and Tubi.
Okay.
Is what I was trying to say. Not V.
How were you clearing it? Is my question. Like, was it with a skill? Was it with a wave? Or you just were like, hey, run this stage and then just kill them all?
Yeah, I just had them run the stage and just kill them.
Okay.
Normally,
right.
normally they would get it done, but like in less than 10 seconds.
Okay. All right. What if I told you V could do it in like 2 to 3?
I'm for it.
Okay,
that'll be a lot quicker.
Let me see. Do you have orb refresher? Do you mind if I just teach him sharp eyes and sword high boost?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Actually,
I don't mind.
does he know sword equip? No. Well, he's got tech blade. Okay. So we'll teach him sharp eyes and then... Okay. So I'll see if I can just get you to where you can farm faster where you are now. Okay, cool. Were you excited for the collab? Or were you not familiar with the game series at all?
I've known about Charles Manor. I just hadn't really played any other games.
Gotcha.
But after doing this collab, it makes me want to go ahead and just go ahead and try it out because it's I've learned about a lot of stuff through Last Cloudia. Like I knew nothing about Dr. Stone when the Dr. Stone collab had came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know it was an anime until after the fact that I played the collab here, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna check it out." And I love it. I love Dr. Stone anime now. I'm waiting for whatever season they're gonna come out with next. I'm waiting for it to drop because
I gotcha.
it's like it was getting like really good, and it was like it's the end of the season. I'm like, no, so I have to wait for it. So I've been learning a lot of stuff from Last Cloudy, and I'm really grateful for that.
I gotcha. Do you feel the learning curve for Last Gladiator is high? Sorry,
I wouldn't have a definite answer for that. I probably say I guess somewhat, and it's kind of like a low somewhat because, like getting into the game and seeing the arcs and seeing the character stuff like that. I mean, you're able to pretty quickly deduce that oh, I can teach these guys, whatever skills, and after you like read their abilities and everything like that, you know what skills to pinpoint into teaching them and stuff like that to match with their abilities and traits.
Okay, I gotcha. Do you have a set time? I know we're already like an hour and a half. I wasn't trying to make this like super long. I'm not sure if you have like a certain time frame.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay, all right. I just wasn't sure. But I'm try to get you to at least to where you can farm faster.
Okay.
Because that's the stage you're doing, right? Imperial Guard Commander?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wow. 1 second.
Yeah. And he's not even fully built. Shouldn't take that much. Have you been able to get any other people that you know to get into Last Cloudia?
Well, I was trying to get Oreo in, but he was like, and I'm like, come on, Oreo, play. But
He would
other
see
than
me.
that,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was he knows I play it, and I think he tried it. He was playing it. But man, he's so hard-headed. I would tell him, bro, you need to do this. I'm trying to help you. Like, I'm trying to get you a good start and make sure you're all right. And he's like, no, I'm just gonna play with what I have. I'm like, all right, that's fine, but don't be crying to me when you're struggling.
I know whenever I streamed, sometimes when I stream Let's Class, sometimes I know a few people of my community said that they had downloaded and they tried it out. As far as if they still have the game downloaded to this day, I don't know.
I gotcha. Are there any things about the game, whether it be from the devs or the game itself, that you don't like?
I don't have any dislikes about the game at all, to be honest. I've never come across anything that I've been like, oh, I don't like this, or I don't like how this is done, stuff that I never came across anything like that. So everything is 100% cool with me up to this point.
Gotcha. Okay. So he's got sharp eyes. Sword high boost. Does A2 come with sharp eyes? I forgot so much about these units.
Not sure. I'm not sure about her.
She does.
Yeah, she
okay.
does.
All right. Does he come with sharp eyes? I forgot so much about these units. I don't think he does. Okay, so V has Sharp Eyes right now. We'll see if that's enough to like clear this wave. Which I mean it's not a hard wave, but we'll see if he does. Very nice. I still don't think that's enough to clear the other wave, but we can give it a try. You got any questions for me you want to ask? Whether it's, I mean, it doesn't, anything you want to ask? We could use this to like get to know each other. It's fine. I mean, doesn't matter. It could be about the game.
How long so you've been playing this since it first came out. How far did it take you to, get to understand the game and know exactly what to do right away and stuff like that?
So I started with, I started when the game came out. Like I started playing it, but I didn't actually have my account until like I want to say a few days after it came out. But I was just like everybody else, I didn't know what it was doing. Like I tried to read as much as I could and try to like work with the knowledge that I had. But I want to say probably maybe a year is when I was like finally okay, I have a better understanding. But then I think I want to say maybe like about a year and a half, I was like, all right, I know what I'm doing. Like, this is it. Like nowadays, I can just look at a unit and be like, oh, I don't need them. They're not good. They don't offer me much and stuff like that. So I think it was. I want to say it was probably about a year and a half it took me to where I was just like, okay, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. This is it.
Okay. Um, are you as far as like how they have like their stuff going on in the game, for like ranks and stuff, are you like really high ranked in anything on here?
I think in the time trial, I know there's like a few like hackers, so like my rank isn't what it should be, but I think I am. I think I'm rank 5. I want to say 5 or 6, something like that. I try to rank as best as I can, but the thing with time trials is that usually those time trials kind of pertain to the units that come out, or they kind of pertain to like the mechanic. Like for instance, this time trial is all about magic. So if you have Shift Eliza, if you have Angela, not so much Maja, just because his damage is high, except his damage is from like his ultimate casting, which lowers your casting speed, so it makes you cast slower. So the thing with me in time trials is I don't wail. I have spent money, but I'm by no means a whale. So I don't go for every new unit that comes out. So that kind of affects me in the time trials, just because for instance, this one I don't have Angela, so I don't have another magic DPS that I could use that is fast. So things like that, I kind of miss out a lot on with the time trials by not getting the new unit. But usually I can maintain like top 10 at least. Like for instance, the previous one with the anniversary, I was number 1. But this one, I don't think I'm gonna get number 1, just because again, I don't have a lot of mages at my disposal.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to rank at least top 10.
Now, as far as like trying to get like to that high rank, like, do you need like a lot of really good characters, or do you just focus on like certain ones and try to get that rank?
Um, so it's different because the previous one, it was three parts. Yeah, it was 3 parts and then each part you could use 4 units. So essentially, you could use 12 units, right? So you had to use 12 units. So that means you had to have had 12 units that were built enough for you to use. So you have to, it just depends. Like for instance, this is 3. You're limited to 3 units. So you got to narrow it down to which 3 units are the ones that you're going to use and build them as much as you can. So that's why passively, like as you get later in the stage of your account, what I'm doing is I passively teach every unit, every skill, just because you don't know when you're going to use that unit, like in the time trial or maybe in a new stage that comes out. So it's really just like, it's really sudden, like whenever a time trial comes out, because it could mean, hey, I have this unit, I just don't have them built, and because I don't have them built, I have to work on them, and that could cut on my time. So it's a lot of surprises that comes with these time trials.
Right. Okay.
But you do need to have them like built. Like you can't 50 SC, right? You have to have them built.
Who would be your favorite character so far in this game? Your favorite unit?
I think for the longest time, when Kohaku came out for Dr. Stone, the first time that they came out, Kohaku was definitely my most favorite, just because she was so fun. And then when Shift Lilibet came out, she was my favorite for sure. Like without a doubt, she was my favorite unit. Now my most fun unit to use, believe it or not, I don't. Are you familiar with the unit Zlorg?
Say it again.
Zlorg, Zleorg.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing a lot of him. That's the guy with the sword in his chest.
No,
That guy?
that's Lug.
No,
Lug says.
it's a Lord. It's a Lord. That's one of the four people for the God of Ruin, correct?
No, he's actually a free unit that you get in the game.
Free unit.
Yeah.
So what it is then?
There's I think you have this stage actually available for you to do. Let's see.
Let me see how to look.
This one.
I think
Actually, no, this is not. There's a sub. I think you have to do a chain of sub quests in order for it to appear. But it's a free
okay.
unit that you get. He's classified as a monster unit, but he's not really a monster unit. But anyways, he's got a mechanic to him that just like is very off-putting, and it's not very usable. But currently there's a bug in the game to where he gets like an additional 5,000 extra damage cap per ally in multiplayer. So you can get him hitting for like almost 50,000, or for 50,000 50,000 damage on whites. So he's fun to use. He's fun to use. You need to build him like really heavily in order to get that high. But he's a unit that I think he's fun to use. As for my favorite unit, I'm honestly not too sure. I think if I had Roy, I think Roy would have been my favorite. But I think I want to say it's between Kohaku and Shift Lilibet still. Probably more Shift Lilibet.
Okay.
Okay, so good news.
Sure my favorite is. I don't even have to say anything about that.
So good news and bad news. We got him Sword High Boost, but you don't have Sword Equip unlocked or available on the arc. The arc isn't high enough level, so can't teach him that. But
what arc is it?
It's the Broken Sword at the Shore. I don't think you have enough bread souls to level it. Let's see. Yeah, so it's at level 7. You need level 7. You need it at level 10. I don't think you have enough bread. Actually, you have 100,000. You could do it, but I don't want to waste your souls.
Go ahead and do it. I don't mind.
You sure? Let me just collect these. All right, I think you might be able to. It'll be close. Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You have enough. Nice.
Nice.
All right.
I
So
have
now
so many of those things.
we're gonna put all those into
Yeah.
sword equip.
Yeah. Be my guest. I've like some of the previous events and stuff I've been trying to pull for like certain characters or certain arcs, and I would just get I would get just blue and gold arcs. I mean blue and gold orbs for like arcs and stuff, and I'm like that's all I'll get. I'll just get like rare and super rare arcs, and that was it. And I'm like, come on, SSR arc or SSR character, and they'd be like, nope, just blues and golds, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I have so like some of those arcs I have like a lot of points for extends on them.
Are you aware of Lena? Like,
as far as what she does now.
Yeah. Okay. So the main thing with Lena is her S2. She's the only unit in the game that has a skill that regens her MP. It is percentage based, so the higher the higher the MP she has, she'll recover 1% of her max max MP. So 800 MP, she recovers 1% of that. But she got a buff to where that MP regen, instead of it being 1%, it's 2%. Now the thing with that is, if you give her 850 MP and you give her dual wield, because it's a physical attack, it'll apply to it. So she'll regen twice. It's 3 hits, so it's 6 hits. So 6 hits, regenning 2% of your MP each hit. If you have Honey Elixir and you give her the Forbidden Book, the SR arc, she's actually able to spam Honey Elixir with 1 S2. It's a pretty, crazy build, but if you happen to get Honey Elixir, I mean, you probably wouldn't use her just for Honey Elixir because you can just give it on, your other DPS units, but she's just able to spam Honey Elixir like there's no tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's see. I think you've pretty much taught Del Morto everything, huh? I'm trying to at least prioritize him on skills.
I don't think he has the weak point boost still, does he?
Oh, he does not. Okay, cool. There you go. Any other questions? Maybe my perspective where I'm at could help you out. I'm not too sure.
How did you feel about my Demorto as far as like being a berserker and the possible skills that he could probably equip on him?
Well, Demorto, coming from like I guess meta standpoint, like he can do damage. Obviously, there's units that'll do more damage, but if you want to use him, good, cool. More. I'm not gonna stop you from using him. But if you are going to use him, I recommend, I know you're using Shift Lilibet, and I'm assuming she has Trishula? Yeah, okay. So, the thing with that is, if you're going to use Del Morto everywhere, he needs Trishula. And then, again, teaching him all the Slayers when you have those unlocked, and then teaching him Special Boost is just going to make him, cap on his damage that much more easier. But as far as how you have him built right now, there's more work that could be done on him. It's not bad for what you have on him, but it could be better by a few notches.
Okay.
And that all just comes down to teaching, like for instance, backstab or surprise attack, stuff like that.
That's one of my main things that I really want to do is just like get him because like I told you before, I love wolves. Anything with a wolf in it,
Hmm.
anything with a wolf in it on it, I gotta have it. So, one of my main things is I really want to get him like really up there because I do like using Dill a lot,
Okay.
and I just want to make sure that I have him like fully up there and doing the most damage that he can because I
Okay.
do like using him as a character.
Okay. So with that being said, yeah, definitely Trishula. Whenever this for right now, I'm just gonna say it bluntly, is just filler. This doesn't. I mean, he's got Proud Force, which is nice, and you've got crit on him. So leaving this on him, it'll be good for his survivability. He does have Awaken, and then he has his Straight where he regens HP. All skills, right? No, so he gets a buff. Okay, so he's got Awaken and he's got the crits and Proud Force. So he's got survivability. But in terms of just from what I'm seeing and damage wise, he could definitely do a lot more damage. Like for instance, yeah, auto regen. That's it'll give him some survivability, but Awaken and Proud Force and the crits are more than enough. And you have auto crit on him, so that's enough self sustain. You don't need to spend 11 SC just for more sustain. Auto Brave, again, it's nice, but remember how I told you that nowadays it's just all about boosting your physical damage. Brave Effect is just 20% more STR. It's not going to be the difference between doing 10,000 damage and doing like 5,000 damage. It's not going to boost you that high.
Okay.
So he's got all that. So yeah, the Slayers for sure. Okay, so he's got Surprise Attack. Backstab would be great. Claw High Boost. You don't have Solaris. No. Okay, so you can't teach him Machine High Boost, which would have helped, but that's fine. So yeah, he definitely can do a lot more damage. It's just a matter of unlocking the skills to help him do more damage. So you have Dragon Slayer, cool. Plant Slayer, cool. Beast Slayer. Yeah, okay, so if you wanted to use him, as much as possible, you would need to teach him the Slayers for all of the bosses that we have currently in the game.
Okay.
Paired with Special Boost. Berserker. Okay, so you gave him Berserker, which is good, right? Physical damage, but I've ran even on my builds. I've ran into some situations where Berserker actually killed me. Has that happened to you? Like you just couldn't regen, and then Berserker was actually doing more harm than good?
I haven't run across it. I don't know if it's because of the auto regeneration or let me check his items real quick. I think I had an item on him that no, actually, no, I
Okay,
didn't. I used to have like a regen ring on him, but
gotcha.
I had took that off. But as far as ever since the regen ring off, I haven't really had any issues where he died on his own from Berserker.
Fair enough. Okay. Um, so as far as the equipment on him, the claw, that's good. Survivability, if you want more survivability, yes, this will definitely help, and it'll help with Berserker. But the if you're going to use him, like I said, you're going to use Trishula, so this is out of the question. As for accessories to help boost his damage, let's see what you got here. Okay. Yeah, you don't have many damage boosting, if any, accessories, which is fine. If we don't have damage boosting, we just work around that, and we either go with survivability or we go with utility. And you said that. Let's see. Yeah, you don't really have much to work with. You could give him this, the Zeo Tech God Core. When HP is 50% or lower, physical attack damage plus 15%. It's once per wave, which I believe this is a buff. So once this activates, I believe you get a buff, and it's a 40-second buff. Yeah, there's not much that you could use. All I see is a lot of survivability, not really much damage boosting. So all your damage boosting is pretty much just gonna come from your skills.
Okay.
So yeah, Slayers, and then the special boost. He's got claw high boost, claw boost. I believe that's on an arc now, claw boost. Yeah. So there's room for improvement. But if this is working out for you, then use it how you have it now. But just know that in the future you will want to work on him more.
Got it.
All right, let's see if V can now clear. He's got sword equipped. I can give him sword boost, sword high boost. And then we'll get rid of his cane. Okay, so I guess it doesn't really matter what we have here. No. Okay, so we'll just give him... well, I want to give him something that you don't, like, constantly tick off other characters.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Okay.
I haven't been using Balin that much. I need to. I do plan on working on him at some point, but it's not right now though.
Okay. Attack 4. That was here. Okay. All right. We'll teach him attack 4 just so that he has more STR, and then that'll probably be as much as that we can do. Because I remember, yeah, the more STR he has, the better. Because his AI would just want to use that. We'll teach him Sky High, actually. Yeah, okay. I've been...
As far as for the next character that they're going to be releasing, do you think it's going to be another Shift character or someone new?
Well, we have Shift Eliza, we have Shift Lansvale. Everyone, it's safe to assume that if the next unit isn't Shift Roland, it'll probably be maybe for New Year's that we'll get Shift Roland. But Shift Roland, definitely going to happen.
Yeah, are they just like pretty much working on the Council of 10 at the moment, just trying to get all those guys like get their shifts and everything for the ones that are already like that they have their previous forms already in the game. They're doing their shift ones for them.
Kind of seems like it. Kind of seems like it. I mean, everyone. Yeah, it kind of seems like they're just giving everyone a shift. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did end up giving him, or if he was the next unit after the collab.
I'm hoping that that we get a shift deal down the line, because I will be very excited to see how his new kit and stuff is.
Maybe it'll happen. It's all just a matter of time at this point. Because we got Shift Ray. We got the main cast Shift. So, I think Zytes came out before Dilmordo, so he would have to get something, unless they just like completely skip around, and then just give whoever they feel like a shift.
Do you what are your thoughts about what the next collab might be? Have they give anything about like well, I'm pretty sure they haven't yet, but do you have any kind of inclination of what the next collab might be in any sense? Or better yet, what are your hopes for the next collab, if possible?
Well, my hopes would be for the FMA rerun, just so I could try and get Roy. But as far as like speculation, this is a new collab, so maybe they'll do a Dr. Stone rerun, because the old Secret of Mana units, they got 5th Enhance, and they were the first collab units. So Dr. Stone was the second collab, or was it Slime? Can't remember. But either way, they might rerun it just to give them E5s. I'm not too sure. All right, let's see how V does.
One of my things that I hope, if they do a collab, if they somehow by some miracle do a collab with them, would be, I don't know if you ever heard of a game. Have you ever I can't talk. Have you ever heard of a game called Yeast before?
I feel like I've seen it, but I've never played it.
It's a game called Yeast Origins. You would lead like Yeast Origins. The most recent one that came out was Yeast 9 Monstrum Nox. It's about this adventurer called Adult Christian with like fiery red hair. I don't know if you ever seen or heard about it before. But in Origins and the first and second games, there's a tower called Darm Tower that looks pretty darn near identical to the Trials Tower. On the if you can put the arc up, where's the arc at? You put the arc up. The arc tower looks almost identical to Darm Tower in the Yi series, or as it's known as the Devil Tower. It's supposed to be like a tower like full of demons and stuff. And
are you talking about the
angel?
Are you talking about the shit? Tower of Trial, or which are you talking about? An arc?
The Tower Trial arc. The arc looks the tower in the arc looks almost identical to Darm Tower, and that's why I hope that if they ever do by some miracle do a collab, they do a collab with that and have like Adult Christian come in and like traverse the tower or something like that. It'd be pretty cool.
Oh, you do have God of the Dead. Oh, I didn't even see it. Which arc are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yellow arc.
SLR?
Phantom Tower, that one.
Oh.
Like the way the tower looks, the tower. If you were to pull up Darm Tower, and then put like YS at the end of it, or in the beginning YS is called Yeez, but if you were to put that in there, it looks somewhat similar to how the tower in the arc looks. It looks amazing. It doesn't. The Darm Tower doesn't have like the little rings around it. It has like a room that kind of like branches out from the tower, and that's about it. But the two are pretty much somewhat similar, which is really dope. And when I got that arc, when I beat floor 80 and I got that arc for the first time, I was like, that reminds me of Yee's Origins, and I was like, now I want to play Yee's Origins because I want to go up the tower again. But yeah, like the whole thing about the tower was well, in 1 and 2, the goddess got kidnapped and they were put in that room that I mentioned that like stuck out, that like branched out from the tower. It was like way up top, and you had to like traverse into this tower of demons and take them out and go up there and save them, and then like fight the final boss at the end, stuff like that. It's really good. I played that game on Game Boy Advance. That had like the little double pack where you get 1 and 2 in one cartridge, and I ended up playing both of those. And ever since then, I've been hooked on the Yeez series. I've played pretty much almost all of them except for Yeez 3, which I haven't even played it yet. But like the whole series is good. And every time I see that arc, I think about Yeez Origins, because the towers just look super identical. So if they were to ever do a collab with that game series, I would hope that we would get that. And for my characters, of course, Adult Christian, he's like the main guy of all the games. His trusty sidekick, who is called Dogi, he's this big burly dude with like a blue goatee and blue hair, which is he's pretty cool too. He fights alongside Adol in some of the adventures that he's been in, which is really dope. I want to say, let me see, I think 1, 2, I believe 3 before then. 1, 2, 3 back then, 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6. Pretty much Adol was kind of like by himself. He was adventuring by himself. And then 7, 8, and 9. Well, no, not 9, because he wasn't. He was in 9, but he didn't fight in 9. But 7 and 8. 7, 8, and 9 actually, they introduced like they introduced a 3-party system,
Mm-hmm.
so you can like change characters on the fly and attack with them. Dogi was in 6 and 7. Well, Dogi was playable in 6 and 7. As far as like like doing stuff, which is pretty cool. Like it's amazing. I love the Yi series with a passion. I would be super hyped if they ever did a collab for that. That
Mm-hmm.
and Monster Hunter.
Oh,
Monster Hunter,
hell yeah,
I would just throw all my money at Monster
bro.
Hunter. Like give me Palico and Palamute, and I'm good to go.
If yeah,
Just see
I've
like
said this.
Palico like, throwing bombs at an enemy. It's just amazing.
Yeah, if they ever did a Monster Hunter collab, I definitely would wail for sure.
Yes, I would be like, just take my like I would give you my direct deposit, and you just just snatch in my paycheck as soon as I get
Hmm.
as soon as I get it. Like, no, we'll take that. That would be
Well,
so amazing for them to do that.
that'd be cool and all, but as you see here, we got V. Look at that. There's your new farmer, sir. I'm not sure if
Nice.
you can see it,
That was,
but
that was fast.
yeah. So you'll see a huge improvement in not only like ether farming, but if you put low level units and shit, you could even teach V uh EXP up just for more. It's not gonna be a lot more EXP, but if you can teach them EXP up and put low level units that you can level passively, it can you can level them for gems and then for EXP for your rank, even for more gems. So now that we got you going, this will be a very fast way for you to build that Arc Ether. If you wanted to be like super min max about your Arc Ether, you would want to do this stage, the Finding Theria on hard. Yeah, I mean, you don't get that much EXP and you don't get mats, but if you just wanted Arc Ether, this would be the stage to get. I would recommend doing the Imperial Guard Commander just because you can get EXP as well. So you could level units right as you get Arc Ether and you get mats to alchemize. So that's the better overall. This, if you just want straight Arc Ether reward, this is faster because it doesn't have that long introduction that the other stage has. So you do have options.
Okay.
So there you go. We at least got your V set up in this little session. Okay. So I think that's pretty much everything that I could probably touch on. I tried, if you still have any questions about physical DPS and how to build them and which skills, you can ask me. As far as the arcs, if you wanted to like you said you wanted to use Dill. If you wanted to use Dill, then leveling up the arcs that gave him slayers that you needed for those bosses and giving him special boost, definitely a priority. But if your priority is different and you just want to level arcs for gems, that's all on you. But there are things that you can do if you want to achieve certain things, right? I think the
Right.
biggest thing that would probably help you, even if you don't use Dill, just having Slayers available to teach on any physical DPS paired with special boost is just gonna make their damage that much higher, just with those skills alone. Obviously, weak point boost is very conditional because you have to have the elemental advantage. You can
Mhm.
put them in the negative resistance, like for instance, Del Morto's S2 can lower fire resistance, but it's a
Mhm.
20 reduction. So if you can get them in the reds, then weak point boost good to have on him. Same with Shift Lilibit. Shift Lilibit can lower Earth res, and if the enemy's neutral to Earth res, she'll lower it by 5, making her be able to use weak point boost. Like an example would be the crazy bird. It's neutral to Earth, so Lilibet can make use of weak point boost there. So I'd say this is conditional, but Slayers and special boost are just all over. They're great all around. They're amazing all around skills for all of your physical DPS.
Okay.
Um, Okay, so we got your V. Cool. We got something achieved. I know it's really late in the collab and you don't have that many gems, but if you're going to pull and you have gems, I highly recommend trying to get Honey Elixir.
Understood. Okay.
Actually, speaking of Honey Elixir, let's say you happen to get Honey Elixir. Okay. So March of the Saints. I'm sure you're aware of what Goddess Kiss does, correct? Just from the description.
Let me see. Wait. Regular attacks have a chance to absorb 2% of damage dealt SMP. Okay.
Yeah. So, some units come with Goddess Kiss. Some units don't come with Goddess Kiss. Goddess Kiss is a 10% chance on regular attacks to recover 2% of the damage dealt. So this is great with units that have Honey Elixir because if you can get their auto attacks, their regular attacks strong enough to recover MP fairly well, then you can spam Honey Elixir on your unit as much as you want. So if you happen to get Honey Elixir, teaching your unit Goddess Kiss would be great so that they can use it more than just once. But when it comes to Goddess Kiss, for one, the element on the weapon dictates your elemental regular attack. So for instance, I forget what's Del Morto's hit count on his regular attacks, but let's just say it's 5. So he's got dual wield. So 5 of those hits is going to be fire, and then 5 of them is going to be ice. But Del Morto only has fire attack, fire drive, fire attack raise, and fire attack raise 2. So 30, 20, and then 10. So that's 60% more damage that those 5 hits of your regular attacks are going to do, which means it's going to help out your Goddess Kiss procs a lot more, as opposed to this half of it only being ice. So this half isn't going to do that much damage. And then things like weak point boost if you're regular attacking on enemies that are weak to fire, that's an additional 30% more that your Goddess Kiss is going to do. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So if you run Goddess Kiss, you want to make sure that you can actually get your auto attacks to be strong enough to even run Goddess Kiss. And things like surprise attack and backstab, 80% more damage on your regular attacks. That's really great. It'll definitely help out with Goddess Kiss. Berserker, that also helps out because it's just physical damage, is not tied to element. It's just physical damage. Sharp Eyes, obviously that's not going to work. But there are things you can do to make Goddess Kiss work for almost everyone.
Would Goddess Kiss work with Sharp Eyes? Because Sharp Eyes decreases my MP and Goddess Kiss would give it back, right?
Yeah, you can pair it. I mean, Sharp Eyes is for your active skills, S1, S2, S3, and then you can use Goddess Kiss, to recover that MP. So it's great because Sharp Eyes only uses like 3% of your MP, and then when Goddess Kiss procs, I know it's only 2%, but it's 2% of the damage that you deal. So you can get like 100 MP, 200. I've had Leona. I don't think you have her, but Leona, I've had her hit for 999 MP regen. So Sharp Eyes can definitely be used with Goddess Kiss.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope this kind of helped you out with being able to build units. As far as arcs, which arcs do you use Dill? So which arc? I'm assuming you use Kagutsuchi on Dill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so physically attacking. Okay, so this mainly you're pretty much just getting the damage cap out of this. Continuous brave effect. That's cool, but it's not amazing. When close to death, activate Grand Brave. Cool. Not amazing. When physically attacking, raise critical rate and damage as unit HP drops. Crit rate plus 10%, max, and damage plus 60%. So this would be great if your Dil Mordo, is on low. I believe this is max at 30% HP. So when you're really low, you'll get that max benefit. But since you have so much sustain on your Dil Mordo, then that part of this arc is pretty much useless, right? Because you have got Proud Force, you got crit, you got auto crit, you've got Awaken. So he's probably not going to be using the max damage, but I guess it's nice to have in case you are running Berserker, and you are taking damage. So the lower your HP, the more damage you're going to do. But I'd say the main thing you're going to get out of this is the damage cap.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There is a great arc. Oh, actually, so you don't have the arc, but there is an arc that's called Silver Gray Swordsman's Tale, which is Balin's arc. It gives an additional 40% more physical damage to the enemy depending on their size, and then since all bosses are pretty huge, then you get a constant 40% more physical damage. So that if you happen to get that, that's a pretty universal one, and it's always, well, I wouldn't say always, but it's always active on the boss because the bosses are so huge. But again, if you're just running this, then the only thing you're really gonna get out of it is the 3,000 damage cap.
Okay.
Any questions about arcs, like in particular? No,
not in particular. No.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that about pretty much wraps it up. You do have a lot story to do, which there's no real reason to rush because you don't really get anything too crazy out of doing story aside from like gems. That's pretty great, but items, there's not really anything that I would tell you, hey, go do story, because you get this super OP item. There are some arcs, I believe, that are tied to doing a certain amount. I think you have to clear like at least the first part of story, or the first arc, and then you can do some sub quests to get to get 2 URs. But they're not like. I think there's one UR that Bayland would only really benefit, but you don't use Bayland. Merity would also benefit, but I don't think you use her that much. 2B actually would probably benefit, but it's not something that I would tell you, hey, go clear story. This arc is super OP. Go get it. But there are things waiting for you at the end of the story. It's just there's just nothing to do it right away, aside from gems. As for the Godforge, try working on that Pure Blade, because that's a great boost for your physical damage dealers. This, I mean, you're not working on Sage Zekas, but just know that if you do work on him, Fantasia Cape would be great on him.
Okay.
Godblade Kagetsuchi, Dil Mordo. If Dil Mordo doesn't need Trishula in the fight, this would be great on him because, more physical damage and it's fire. So this would be great for his Goddess Kiss, should you teach that on him. Right. There's also, again, the Claw, which I believe goes up to 20%. So this would be more than the current Claw, except it's not fire. So Goddess Kiss would not benefit from all the fire attack raises that the other Claw is benefiting from. So you'd probably be better off with the other one, just because it also benefits Goddess Kiss, but it is more damage, I guess. As for the other ones, don't really see a need for you, at least for you, to build or to make any of these. So really, it's just the Pure Blade, Kagetsuchi, Fantasia Cape, and then the Claw.
Gotcha. Okay. That it was that Telos Claw, I believe, correct?
Yes. So hopefully, I wasn't too jambled, and maybe I did help out a little bit. I don't know.
No. I've been taking notes this entire time, so I have a lot of stuff that I can actually work on now and not get like stumped on where I need to go to next. So I have a lot to work on.
Cool. Glad to hear that. So closing out, Anything else you want to ask, or anything you want to whether it's about the game or just like my experience with the game, that doesn't really matter.
Uh, no, not really. That's pretty much about it on my end. It's my first time doing this, so I'm
Yeah, same
super
here. That's why that's why I'm trying to
not
like,
really
cover
But
everything.
but as far as like the game and stuff go, it's a wonderful game. I see myself playing. Like I said before, the only mobile game that I have been on my phone that I've played for a good long while now, since I've buckled down and gotten to learn about it and do stuff. And I see myself playing it, further on down the road for a good foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Good to hear. Um, yeah, we touched about the units, touched about physical units, magic units. Hopefully, I elaborated on the arcs, and then maybe that'll help you decide on which ones to build. Because I don't want to sit here and be like, hey, build this, do this, because I feel like that just takes away from like you and your experience, and I'd rather just give you options and be like, hey, this would help you out if you want to do this, as opposed to like, hey, working on this arc, and then instead of this one, you know what I mean? So I'd rather give you options. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You've done a wonderful job with that, because once I get Deal to the point where I need to get him at where he's able to do everything super amazingly,
Mhm.
then that'll give me options to move on to the next unit or move on to the next thing that I need to do as far as the gameplay goes for Last Cloudia. So I do have a lot of options to work on once I'm done with something I'm working on now. So I thank you for that.
Cool. No problem. Good to hear. Okay. One final thing that I feel like maybe it'll help you in the future. You remember how I had asked about these units, and just looking at them and helping you decide. Do you have any questions about that? Like when a new unit comes out, what like to look for, as that would help you decide, hey, should I pull for them or should I not pull for them? Do you have any questions about that?
As far as just seeing, like, getting their damage caps and stuff, taking that into consideration
Mm-hmm.
and seeing if there's somebody that I actually need to try to get to like help my units further on down the road.
Yeah.
To help my account, excuse me.
Okay. So I guess real quick, the biggest things is just, they're the unit's element, like if they're tied to an element, because that just means they're going to need, they could or they couldn't or they won't need Trishula, right? And you're already using Trishula. So that's one thing. If they're elementally locked, if they're neutral, you got to take that into consideration, because you only have, one Trishula, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the other thing is their skills. Not only being elementally locked, but just how, I guess this is it's more like a meta, I guess, standpoint, but like just how the number of hits that their skills have, and then how quickly they can do their hits. Again, this is like for physical DPS. So for Reese, for example, her S2, horrible. It's trash. It's just a wasted skill. I'm not sure. I don't know if you've seen it, but she attacks from like super far. She the only benefit her S2 has is that she can attack from like really far away without having to move. But the drop off is that the time it takes for her to use an S2, you could use like 2 or 3 S1s or 2 or 3 S3s. So that's one thing, like the skill hit count, and then the time it takes to execute that skill. And then if you can chain skills together, like you can spam S1 after S1 after S1, you can spam S3 after S3. The traits is another big thing. Like what do their traits offer? Like Reese, her first trait, physical damage plus 40% and damage cap plus 5,000. Okay, cool. So another physical damage dealer. She just gets more physical damage and 5,000 damage cap. Her trait 2, When unit is alive, all allies physical damage attack damage plus 20%. When unit is incapacitated, restore all living allies HP and apply a defense in mind plus 35%. So this just means she's gonna give your units some buff, like a 20%, more physical buff and magic buff. And then when she ends up dying, she heals them and then gives them another buff. So just for example, in my account, this is absolutely useless. I don't need this kind of support. I don't need this kind of damage and damage cap. Her skills, that's another thing. What skills do they come with? Because that, saves you from having to teach that unit skills. For instance, she obviously she excels in spears, so spear boost, spear high boost, spear mega boost. She's got sharp eyes, great. That's a staple of physical DPS skill. Awaken, great survivability. She's got honey elixir, that's really great. And she's got goddess kiss. So those two paired together, amazing. Everything else, brave phaser, okay. Aura phaser, okay. It's just more buffs, but you don't really need those. Max HP, nothing you can't teach. That's like, oh my god, this is amazing. So it's just more HP, fighting spirit, HP, and STR, nothing crazy. Auto brave, auto protection, nothing crazy. Auto crit is great because, more crit. She doesn't come. What units come with and what units don't come with. So she doesn't come with Proud Force. She doesn't come with crit 1, 2, or 3. So if you wanted to give her more sustain, you'd have to teach her those, which means you have to spend more SC, to make that work. What damage boost do units come with? She's got Earth High Drive, cool. Physical damage and special damage plus 30%. Earth attack damage, and then Earth attack raise 3, Earth attack raise 2. So more Earth damage. So her S1 and S2 and ult will benefit from this, but not her S2. Her S1 and S3 and ult will benefit from these, but not her S2 because her S2 is light. So she's already got one useless active skill. Now it's just even more useless because it doesn't get that much damage boost from it.
Got you. Okay.
And then there are other things that the traits, like for instance, this physical damage plus 40% and damage cap, it's tied to a spear. Okay, that's good because it doesn't say when only a spear is equipped. So that means that she can do dual wield without losing anything. Like for example, Bayland has a thing where if he's only equipping a sword and so not dual wielding, he'll get some more damage boost. But we all know that in certain, like 9 times out of 10, dual wield is going to be the better option for skills, just because double the hit count, more damage, and stuff like that. So the wording on their traits is also a big thing that will decide on how they can perform. Obviously, this is all on paper, but usually that's all you really need in order to gauge whether you need to pull for this unit or not.
Okay.
And then the element resistance, that's pretty much, this is all like PvP stuff. It doesn't necessarily become a big factor in the PvE side. PvP, yeah, but I don't think people really use her for PvP. Because now it's just like about Roy and just nuking with his S3. So that hopefully that's like the physical DPS, right? Like if there's a physical DPS unit that comes out and you see their traits and skill, hopefully that this kind of like thinking process will help you decide if you want to pull for them or not.
Okay.
As for the arcs, are you pretty good on gauging like when an arc comes out whether it's good or not?
As far as the equip skills, the unit skills go,
like from looking at oh, okay, so you're good. Okay, cool. All right. I was just gonna see if you needed help on that, but it sounds like you got it. All right, cool beans. Just for the record, arc's trash. Okay. So Mage is another thing. If you do need help, you can just DM me, but it's pretty much the same thing. You remember how I said that physical DPS and magical DPS are kind of the same, just in terms of like what you look like for that thought process that I mentioned for Reese. It's pretty much the same when it comes to magic. It's just orientated to magic DPS.
Okay.
And obviously, if they're magic, they're not going to use their skills. So for the most part, you can pretty much just ignore all of their skills and their ult. So magic, it's all about their traits and then what skills they come with. So yeah, just wanted to touch on that real quick. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers it. I don't want to drag this on for too long and keep you here for too long. So yeah, hopefully I did, cover everything somewhat in depth without talking your ear out.
Oh no. Nowhere near that. No.
Okay, cool. Well, it was great to have you. I do appreciate you being okay with being my first one, and my goal was to help you out, and at least we were able to get your V set up to where he can just auto farm. And you should see a significant increase in your farming. Maybe not the mats, just because he doesn't have a form to steal. You can give him the thief bangle to help him steal, but it's not going to be like amazing gains from stealing, because I believe this is a 10% chance on death. So if you wanted him to steal, you could give him that. But for the most part, he is set up to farm IGC3. So now you can just put your level 1 arcs and then grind ether and grind mats and grind EXP. But yeah, I think that'll do it. If you want to plug yourself, you're more than welcome to. I know you have all your media and stuff, so go ahead, do your thing.
Okay. Well, thank you first off for having me. I'm very honored to be your first person to be part of this. Like I said before, my account's all over the place, so I am happy that I am going in some type of right direction. And as always, for anybody who ever wants to stop by and just check me out, again, my name is WolfKingFist. I stream on Twitch. I stream on Twitch. I say every day at this point, because some days I take off. On Sundays I don't stream. I'm pretty much in Discord on Sundays, just chilling. So if you guys ever want to stop by, !Discord in my chat, you can get the Discord link for that. Hop on in. If you see me on Last Cloudia, which I'm pretty much auto farming all day, all night, just shoot me a message or whatever like that. If you want to get some multiplayer going, I'm really big on multiplayer. So if you ever do multiplayer, please stop by for any of those who see this vid and you've seen my name in multiplayer. Hopefully I'm not too big of a pain to you guys. Hopefully I'm not like being like a butt or anything like that. But again, thank you for having me, and I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So yeah, that was WolfKingFist, very first guest, and then this was me, Jawline Kun. So I do appreciate everyone that watched, and maybe this helped you guys as well. But yeah, I will have links to Wolf's information down below if you guys do want to check them out. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.